That being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. We will officially call this meeting to order, the Village of Woodlawn regular council meeting. Today is November the 2025, November the 25th, 2025. My teacher over here to the right of me looking at me like, what's wrong with him? So I want to make sure I'm saying that correctly. We'll go again. We have called the meeting to order. We are going to, Vice Mayor, if you would follow the agenda and introduce our guest tonight.
Good evening. I would like to introduce our guest tonight. We have our Cub Scout Pack 260 that will be joining us to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, all right. We'll all rise and we'll follow our Boy Scouts for the pledge tonight.
Please rise. Please rise. Color guard, advance. Hand salute. Please say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge of the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard dismissed.
After our invocation, we'll have a short presentation. Father God, right now we just want to say thank you for allowing us to come here to the Village of Woodlawn to do the business of the Village of Woodlawn. We ask that you cover each household that is represented here in the Village of Woodlawn. We ask that each member just watch for each other, make sure that everybody is safe during these holiday times. Lord, we are just thankful for your grace and your mercy. And Father God, right now, we just appreciate that you sending these young people our way, just leading them in leadership, and we appreciate that, and we are honored by that. And these blessings, we ask in thy Son, Jesus' name, and for his sake, amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Esther Boyd. Here. Rosemary Brown.
Present.
Cindy Chandler. Pamela Fitzgerald.
Here.
Robert Lawson. Here. Michelle Starr. Mayor Poole.
Present. All right. Vice Mayor?
You need a motion.
Motion to excuse.
Oh, yes. I need a motion to excuse Councilmember Michelle Starr, Councilmember Cindy Chandler. Is that it?
I'll make a motion
That's it.
to excuse both council members, Michelle Starr and Cindy Chandler.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Very well. All right, Vice Mayor, we want to present our Boy Scouts a little something tonight. Boys, if you will come up front for us.
As a token of appreciation. And this is from the Village of Woodlawn. We appreciate your services and all that you've done today for us. I guess I should have you tell everybody your name. Chris, okay, Chris. Go with number 2. State your name.
My name is Grayson Smith.
Great, Grayson. And state your name.
My name is Michael Johnson.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular council meeting held October the 28th, 2025, with any corrections necessary.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes.
Aye.
All right. I need a motion to approve the special council meeting minutes from November the 17th, 2025, with any corrections, deletions, or additions to those minutes.
I'll make a motion for passage for the special council meeting, November 17th, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes.
Aye.
Well, all right. We have a small presentation tonight from Safe Routes to School.
Hello everyone, my name is Paige Russell. I'm from Hamilton County Public Health. I work under a grant that focuses on chronic disease prevention, and I'm here today supporting Tim and Monica while they present.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. I can do the pepper if you'd like me to.
So, as I think most of the folks in the room are familiar with the Safe Routes to School program. The program paid for some of the sidewalks that are currently on Riddle Road. It's a great program, it's very valuable to the village. This year, Paige Russell from Public Health got in contact with Monica and myself, and we were able to kind of form a Safe Routes Committee to start to update our program. So that was obviously Monica, who's really been spearheading this along with Paige, myself, Director Sherman, Chief Johnson, Chief Williams, Mike Donahue, who everybody knows, and Sherry Thompson from Princeton Public Schools. So I'll go ahead and move the board here, and Monica can go ahead and take it from there.
Okay, the goal of this presentation is to inform the public and about our efforts to update the Woodlawn Elementary Safe Routes to School plan, which is needed to apply for grants. So we'll talk about the countermeasures proposed in the plan. So what is Safe Routes to School? Safe Routes to School aims to create environments to support and encourage students K through 8 to walk or bike safely to school. The Connection, just a point of information from the CDC, recommends 1 hour or more of physical activity for students aged 6 to 17. Physical activity results in brain health benefits for a better and more improved academic performance and memory. By creating a safer environment around the school, parents can feel better about their children biking and walking to school. And that promotes healthier habits. So, why are we updating this plan? The plan needs to be updated every 5 years, so we'll be eligible for funding. And we have done Woodlawn Elementary. I think the last time we did it was in 2018. We tried to do it before, but it was a little too quick. So thanks to Paige and the group, we're on point and early. So Safe Routes to School funding is managed with the Ohio Department of Transportation. They provide up to 100% reimbursement on eligible cost, zero match for the village. These are two types of projects that can be funded through the grant: infrastructure and non-infrastructure. Infrastructure within 2 miles of school, like sidewalks, crosswalks, lighting. Maximum project limit is up to $1 million. Non-infrastructure includes establishing and delivering educational programs to children and planning and hosting events that promote walking and biking. The maximum project for the non-infrastructure is $20,000. So updating the travel plan. What goes into the Safe Routes plan? We began in 2025, March this year, gathering a team of representatives, and Tim has told us who was on the committee. So Princeton provided us with demographics. From that point, we sent the information to ODOT, and they turned it into a 2-mile radius map that illustrates how close students are, where they live, and crash reports as well included in that map you'll see later in the presentation. What else was included was caregiver surveys we gave to parents, and it talks about how they feel about their children walking and biking to school. We had teacher tallies. We had teachers fill out tallies for 3 days in a row. We'll talk about that later as well. And arrival and dismissal observations. After that data collection, we began to identify barriers, which resulted in the development of new countermeasures to combat these barriers, which we'll go over in a future slide. So when updating our Safe Routes to School plan, we need to determine 3 key points: where students live, how they are traveling to school, and why. These questions have been addressed through the various data collection methods that we just mentioned earlier. The map has been created by the Ohio Department of Health, which illustrates how close students live to the school and crash reports, pedestrian and bicycle crash. Data collection. Understanding the existing walking and biking patterns, school, safe practices. Woodlawn Elementary, alongside the parents' feedback, that was crucial in determining primary concerns and areas of opportunity. Members of the Safe Routes School team gathered to observe student staff. Nicole, was it? We gathered behaviors before and at dismissal times. And that was, it gives us a sense of current environment during these peak traffic times. Surveys were also distributed to teachers where they were tasked with tallying how many students, the students who were arriving and leaving from school each day for 3 days in a row, and what their patterns were. This resulted in 480 tallies conducted over those 3 days, and 53 total parent surveys, which I thought was great. Participated to get feedback from parents on how they felt about their child walking or biking to school, and giving them the opportunity to list their safety concerns and potential areas of improvement. The 4 concerns that came out of those was the gaps in the sidewalk, especially from Riddle Road, gaps in that, and the sidewalks there. The lack of safety crossing, because there was traffic, of course. So we found that the cars were not yielding to the pedestrians. Concerns of safety due to traffic and speed, and a lack of education for safe walking and biking activities to encourage students to engage in walking and biking to school.
So once we completed the data, we discussed different countermeasures. And as Monica noted before, they're both infrastructure and non-infrastructure countermeasures that we came up with. So in terms of the non-infrastructure countermeasures, we determined that the village could host an annual Walk to School Day event, which we've done in the past. Continue the enforcement of the school zone speed limits during arrival and dismissal times. And I think Chief Williams and Officer Rowland are doing a great job with that. Distributing educational materials that promote safe walking and biking. Disseminating injury prevention education and equipment through the Put a Lid on It campaign, which I believe our fire department has done in previous years. And giving out yard signs that households can plant in their right-of-way that display the Drive 25. I know I've seen these up in my area too. They're like little turtles with flags, but it does draw your attention to them. And then hosting a bike rodeo for students to learn about bike safety. And Director Sherman has done that in the past as well. The goal of these non-infrastructure countermeasures are to educate and encourage safe habits. In terms of infrastructure countermeasures, The priority of this plan is to close the sidewalk gaps to connect subdivisions where the majority of students are traveling from. We have obviously already submitted for some grants throughout the last couple of years. We have the sidewalks that have gone in on Springfield Pike. We have a grant in process through SORTA to extend sidewalks from Roberta to Panola on Riddle Road. We have the OKI grant on Marion Road that will add sidewalks. And our ultimate goal through Safe Routes to School funding will be to close any of those gaps that are not addressed from these grants. So we'll continue to try to sidewalk the village. We also want to improve the safety of the crosswalks on Riddle Road in front of the school through crossing sign upgrades. We want to add speed reduction signs, so the speed feedback signs that we have on Glendale Milford where it flashes at you and tells you your speed. We'd also like to perhaps add some of those on Woodlawn Boulevard. We'll also consider speed humps near the municipal building and on Woodlawn Boulevard to slow traffic down near the school and the parks. And then also just improving visibility on Riddle Road specifically, making sure the brush is trimmed back so that people can see that there's a school there, as well as painting the guardrail yellow near the entrance of the school. And then the next steps in our Safe Routes application is to gather any feedback obtained from this presentation, as well as finalizing the plan officially. Once the plan is complete, we will seek signatures from the school and local government representatives, so you guys, to pledge support to the plan. We'll also work with Verdantis to make sure that these plans work along with our sidewalk plan as well. And then in December, we'll go ahead and submit the plan to ODOT and to go through the approval process. So we'll send it to them. I'm sure they'll send back a list of corrections they would like us to make. We'll make those corrections, then we'll resubmit for the January grant period. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and put this presentation on our website with the QR code. The QR code will lead to a survey that people can fill out regarding safe routes, and we'll continue to move the process forward.
All right. Any questions for Monica, Paige, or Tim? Good stuff. I'm excited, especially when I heard a sidewalk from Roberta to Panola. I'm excited to hear that. I've been looking for that probably for almost 60 years, and so I'm excited to hear that. So good things. I think that is a wonderful thing. We want to make sure that our students are traveling by foot or bike and safe at the same time. So again, Paige, thank you so much for your input and our employees here in the village that participated with that, as well as Principal Thompson down at Woodlawn Elementary. So again, thank you so much for that presentation. Yes. All right. Well, I like that. We like that. Thanks again, Paige. All right. All right. Committee and commission reports. Committee of the Whole, November the 11th, 2025. Mr. Lawson, are you ready to prepare?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lawson.
Okay, Committee of the Whole was November 11th, 2025. Members attending were Mayor Poole, Esther Boyd, Rosemary Brown, Sidney Chandler, Paula Fitzgerald, me, myself, Robert Lawson, I was the chair, and Michelle Starr. Okay, we first started off with Public Works. Victoria was under the weather a little bit, so I hope she's feeling a little bit better. We talked about grass cutting, trimming. The biggest topic, though, was over on Prairie. There was a fence that hopefully gets to be repaired. That was the topic of conversation. So hopefully they'll get that repaired. Then we went to fire department. Fire department is doing a great job. They're getting a lot of different grants for the fire department. They had 3 people in training for CPL. Hopefully they get their training. We talked about the therapy dog. We revisited that. Hopefully we'll be getting a therapy dog. Then we talked about over at Aviza's, a lot of stuff is getting cleaned out. And then unfortunately we had 2 of our ambulances had a little fender bender during the week. So hopefully, everything is all right with everything. Then we went to, police department. Kevin Williams does a great job getting our police department together. We talked about, police department is looking for sponsors for our annual shop with the cop event in December. And then we talked about the new logo for the police cars. Then we had Parks and Recreation. And the biggest thing in Parks and Recreation was definitely our parade for Chelsea Mitchell. And if you were there, if you was attendance with that, everything went great as planned. And that's about all I have.
All right.
For committee of the whole.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Lawson and committee of the whole? All right, Board of Zoning Appeals. Board of Zoning Appeals, we met on November the 13th, 2025. There was one case that came before us. It was a request for a variance approval to allow a greenhouse accessory structure located in the front yard where accessory structures are not permitted. Throughout that meeting, some things were denied. However, there were a couple things that were allowable for that property owner on Grandview. Again, we just want to encourage when you are doing things in the village, if you are building, if you are adding, that we ask that you go through the proper channels through Hamilton County. Hamilton County will make sure that we are aware of what is being presented, and then that process goes as follows. That was the only case that we had for that meeting, again, at the Board of Zoning Appeals for November the 13th. Are there any questions? Having none, Finance Committee, Ms. Fitzgerald?
Yes, good evening. The Finance Committee meeting was met on November 17, 2025. The meeting was called to order at 7:31 p.m. Members present was Cindy Chandler, which is the chair, Michelle Starr, and myself. Also present was Lauren Crisp, Tim Engel, Ashley Madden, Charles Willis, Rosemary Brown, and Esther Boyd. The village has, I'll talk about the taxes first. The village has collected $653,562 in taxes related to the month of October. That was split. The tax receipt distribution by funds included the general fund, $520,577, road tax and sidewalk taxes, $85,247, the debt, $30,689, capital projects, $17,049, for a total of $653,562. Since inception, we've received $6,232.03. We've dispersed $4,995,754, and our fund balance to date is $1,236,248 is our fund balance that we have. I'm going to leave the rest of this finance report to Mr. Chris, our finance director. He will give the remainder of the report in a few minutes.
Okay, very well. Any questions for Vice Mayor Fitzgerald in terms of finance? Having none, economic development, Vice Mayor again.
I led the Economic Development Committee on November 18, 2025. The meeting was called to order at 5:39. Members present was myself, Rosemary Brown, Cindy Chandler. Also present was Mayor Poole and Tim Engel. The agenda items for this meeting included Lee Crest Road Plan Unit Development. Mr. Engel stated that the Lee Crest property has been paid off, so that's really good news, and shared preliminary documents for 8 lots. The committees discussed the issue of no infrastructure for sanitary and sewer and possibly tapping into connections off of Grove Road. It may take having a lift station put in. So we talked about that. We also talked about, discussed that Springfield Township, I'm not sure if our residents know, that Springfield Township, if you haven't seen, has a new subdivision that will have some impact on some of Woodlawn's roads with the increase of residents. We also talked agenda items, our strip mall. Mr. Engel stated that the Woodlawn Transportation Services is storing vehicles and working out of Ibiza portion of the strip mall. So I don't know if the residents have noticed that that we're parking down there. Bushelman will install a new garage doors. Verdantis is looking into whether or not this property can be utilized as our firehouse. The third thing we talked about was a potential village square. The committee discussed concepts created by Elvar that council received earlier in the year. This venture would take the village land banking property on Springfield Pike. And that was pretty much all we talked about, and that concluded our meeting for the economic development. It was adjourned at 6:48 p.m.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Vice Mayor in terms of economic development? All right. Having none, municipal managers report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll stress a couple of the items that Councilmember Lawson mentioned in the Committee of the Whole report. Ms. Banks is back on duty. She's doing a lot better. The fence on Panola, I know actually I just had an email exchange with Public Works about that this afternoon. They're looking at how to deal with the fence. I know they were questioning some of the property lines, so code enforcement's going to help out with that a little bit, and we'll have more on that soon, I'm sure. With the ambulances at the fire department, one of the ambulances is back in service. That one's perfectly fine. The other one was totaled out, but we were able to acquire a new used ambulance from Union Township for pretty much the same cost as the insurance settlement. So we do have possession of that ambulance now. It's in good operating order. I think it still says Union Township on it, but it's working just fine for our 911 calls and the duration. Let's see, and then also, real quick, wanted to give a shout out to both the fire department and Public Works. If people haven't noticed, we have a new village Christmas tree, or sorry, holiday tree on Woodlawn Boulevard. Public Works and the fire department put that up together. It's absolutely gorgeous. And we will have the official tree lighting at our Flick event on December 5th, so we're very proud of that. Just going into some of the updates for the village for the end of the month, looking at the Hamilton County Revitalization Grant. Again, bids were open for that in September. John R. Jurgensen was the lowest bidder for the project. We are working on setting a date for a pre-construction meeting. With the holidays, that timing just a little bit more difficult right now. The economic impact grant that we received from Hamilton County in 2025, as council may recall, this was a grant to put a parking lot in over I'm sorry, excuse me. This was a grant to purchase property on Springfield Pike that's currently occupied by a home. We will go ahead and close on that property in January. And we'll go ahead and have that home subsequently demolished. We're also looking for some additional information from the Port Authority in terms of demolition grant funds. We did email them. They seem positive about it. They haven't given us a confirmation yet, so hoping to get a little bit of extra money to help take that house down. The Hamilton County Facade Improvement Grant is a grant that was given out to some of our local businesses here in the village. 2 of those businesses have completed their grants, have received the reimbursement checks. 2 others are very close. In fact, one of them I know is the Pike 2. One of their items was to put new awnings on. I just saw a team putting those awnings on this week. Yes. So I think they are just about done. And the third is starting a roof project. Actually, I know they started in November, so that should be completed soon as well. So very excited for those to conclude. The Springfield Pike and Gruninger improvements, obviously those are the sidewalks that have been installed throughout this year. The updated bus shelters have been received. They're actually in the area. One of the bus shelters has been installed in front of Goodwill. The other one on Gruninger is on the property. They have yet to install it. So they'll go ahead and put those up and finish the project here before the end of November. So very excited for that to conclude. Okay. The Wayne Avenue improvements, again, Rack and Baller Excavation Company won the bid for the Wayne Avenue improvements. We're working on a meeting for a working on a date for a pre-construction meeting, and those improvements will take place next year. The Glendale-Milford sidewalk improvements, everything has been put together by the engineering firm for the Glendale-Milford sidewalk improvements. We're hoping to bid that project out before the end of the year to start next year, and that will run sidewalks along Glendale-Milford Road between Chester and Wayne Avenue. The village also applied and received a new pilot paving program through OKI valued at over $750,000. That'll repave Glendale-Milford Road from Springfield Pike to Wayne Avenue.
Yes.
That's through ODOT. That was a great grant program. It required no match. That's free paving for the village. We have quite a few improvements coming to Marion Road. We received both OPWC and MRF funding to do road improvements. We also received funding from OKI for a transportation alternatives grant. I think we thought once we got it that funding would be available next year, but similarly to Safe Routes to School, this is a 5-year program. So we'll start planning for that project throughout the next couple of years, but the construction will start on that in 2029. But that'll be a great gift in 2029 to have sidewalks all the way down Marion Road. It'll connect basically the Timberland subdivision to Springfield Pike, so one of the highest density areas on that side of Woodlawn to the Pike and all the amenities there. So it's wonderful stuff. Neighborhood Allies will be back in the village on December 11th. I think there are a lot of folks that are struggling right now. I know obviously there were some delays in some of the SNAP programs due to the federal shutdown. So if you know anybody that needs help, or if you need help, please do come to the Recreation Center on December 11th. Neighborhood Allies is there to help everyone, or you can contact Neighborhood Allies at 513-823-3448, and they are here to help everybody in Hamilton County. All of their services are free of charge. As mentioned in the Economic Development Report, the 10088 Springfield Pike property, the strip mall, is being utilized by Woodlawn Transport Services to store vehicles. Again, we are having the property evaluated to determine if it can be renovated and added on to become a new fire department. Everything's been signed off on for that evaluation, so we're hoping to have that information back early next year. The fire department also received a grant, if you may recall, earlier this year to purchase 6 new radios. After we purchased the radios, the vendor contacted Assistant Chief Jenkins a few weeks ago, I think, and informed him that they had a surplus of radios due to a canceled order. And unfortunately, again, I think because of the federal shutdown and some other things that have happened, there were a lot of federal grants that have been delayed or just canceled altogether. And I believe this was probably due to one of those. The vendor offered the radios to the fire department at 50% of the regular cost. So we were able to outfit the remaining 14 radios the fire department needed this year, and that saved the village over $55,000 with that discount. So it's great news and a great job by Captain Jenkins to be there to get that call. And then really the last item that I have on here just as an update, our finance director has finished the village's budget, or has drafted the village's budget for 2026. The budget must be passed at the December council meeting. So that budget was sent out to all of council. Please do review that. We do have some time to discuss it further at Committee of the Whole as well as Finance Committee, but we do want to make sure we pass that on the floor in December. Okay. So please, any questions, email or call Lonnie directly, or make sure you send them to him. Send those to him for Finance Committee or Cal.
Okay.
And that is all I have, Mayor, unless there are questions.
Tim, I had a real quick question. You were referring to the bus stops, and I noticed traveling up Springfield Pike, there is a shelter
Yes.
that is on the ground.
Yes.
I take it that it has not been installed correctly.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
They've placed them in the area, but they have yet to stick them into the concrete.
Okay, no worries.
The Goodwill one is up, the other two haven't been
Yes.
installed yet.
Okay,
Yep.
notice that. All right, just wanted to make sure that nobody already.
Yep.
That is
right across from Goodwill.
Yes,
And that we were asking could some type of barrier be put in front of it?
yes.
I didn't remember, you said that, I didn't remember that we said we were gonna call or take care or ask or.
My next meeting with the engineering firm, I'll bring that up and see if there's anything we can do. The hard part with that is that there's not a lot of right-of-way there. The right-of-way is like where the road's at.
Yeah.
So anything we can do, we'll go ahead and look into, see if we can put some of those obelisks in perhaps that are out in front of Fleming Road that stop cars from running into the apartment
Right.
building.
Right.
If we can do something like that, I'm sure we can, we'll see if we can't get that done.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
To Mrs. Boyd's concern, and I know that in 2026, Route 4, State Route 4 is supposed to be redone.
It is.
Perhaps, would that suffice her concern with the redesign? Is it going to be redesigned?
So with
in that
State Route
process?
4, it's ODOT is repaving it,
Okay,
but they won't
No
redesign
move,
it.
I got you.
Yeah, so
Okay.
anything extra we'll do on our own.
okay, okay.
But it's certainly worth doing. If we can do it, it's worth doing at that time.
Yeah,
That
I
way people
agree.
are only inconvenienced once.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the municipal manager? All right, clerk, are there any communication petitions and claims to the public?
There are none, Mayor.
All right, very well. Finance Director report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Finance Committee, we presented financial information through the month of October. The budget versus actual revenues and expenditures as of October 31st, 2025, we were 83% through the year. The general fund, we've collected 85% of the estimated revenue and expended 72% of the budgeted expenditures. For all funds, we've collected 67% estimated revenue and expended 54%. So revenues are ahead of expenditures. The receipts and disbursements for the month of October, the village collected $1,044,000 and dispersed $2.8 million. And explained to the committee the reason for that was we issued debt for the purchase of the Springfield property on Springfield Pike, and that was, but that was not expended till October 1st. So we had a large collection in September, and that about $1.5 million was dispersed in October.
Okay.
For the fund balance report, as of October 31st, the general fund balance stands at $3.95 million, and the balance for all funds is $8.5 million. The overtime report, the village spent $51,872 in overtime for the month of October, with the police, fire, and public works department accounting for 53%, 34%, and 8% of the overtime charges. October was a 3-paycheck month. Last year, November was the 3-paycheck month. So we had not comparing apples to apples. The numbers are going to look higher through October for this year.
Okay.
The salary expense report, the village spent $5.2 million on salaries and benefits to date in 2025. The percent increase over 2024, again, this is with that extra paycheck in there, was 18%. The recreation department revenues were under expenditures for general fund, $290,000, the Weed Ride grant, $1.4 thousand, and the pool levy, $4,743. Funded a number of many programs that were committee of the whole report. The bank reconciliation report is included in the packet tonight for your approval, along with the list of receipts and expenditures. And that concludes the report. I would like to mention when we established 2026, it's a temporary budget, and once we cross the end of the year, we'll look at the carry forward balance and then see if it's large. We can anticipate funding additional.
Okay.
We set the expense, the appropriation budget for expenditures equal to the amount of revenue we're going to receive. So we don't eat into the carry forward balance. So
Gotcha.
that was how we kind of capped the expenditure.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Are there any questions for Finance Director? With that being said, Vice Mayor, I do need approval of the receipt listing, payment listing, and the bank reconciliation.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the receipt listing, payment listing, and bank reconciliation.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
All right, very well. Law Director's report.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
All right. Mayor's report. All right, a couple things. As we heard the presentation tonight about safe routes to school, I continue to get tickled in the inside because one of the things that is part of that is watching the speeding that has been identified in that. I think we do a fantastic job at speed check at the Woodlawn Riddle Road School. I am just pleading to those out there in the TV land that we are out there. The word out in the street is that you do not speed through Woodlawn, and I like hearing that. I really do. So again, we just ask that you watch the speed. Now that the children are on a Thanksgiving break, they're going to be out and about in the neighborhood. So again, we just ask that you be very mindful of children out in the area. Again, I don't have a lot to report. I do want to just say that it is Thanksgiving, and I just want everybody to just take a minute to be thankful for something. And it's been a wild ride in 2025 from all areas in life. I'm just going to put it like that. But as we here in the village, we are very thankful and grateful at the same time of all the great things that have happened and that are happening here in the village. It's not a day that Tim and I don't talk, and he gives me good news. And so I'm just excited about what 2026 is going to bring to this village as well. This entire administrative team are doing the thing out there. We are just excited. I did want to just touch base, really just touch it really quickly about last week with our parade and our pep rally. Director Sherman, you went over and beyond what is asked. You went over and beyond. They are still raving out there about what we did here in the village of Woodlawn. We had some special guests that we invited here to the village of Woodlawn to witness that. And we had a wonderful time. I think Kelsey was very shocked that we just kind of went that far. And I know that your team, again, just did an exceptional job. It appears to me that everything that is touched by you, it comes out just shining stars. So I'm excited about this week coming on the 5th for Flick. Flick is scheduled for this Friday, December the 5th, or next Friday, December the 5th. And so please come out. It's going to look a little different this year, but I'm excited about the new look. As our village manager mentioned, the new tree, the outside tree, will have the tree lighting outside this year. So if you haven't had a chance, it is right now just being, it's beautifying over there, over at the caboose area. And so again, we're excited about that for the 5th. But again, hats off to you and your team for that. Public Works, again, Public Works and Fire, they just work together when we need some big things happening. Along with our friends down in Wyoming, helped us out by offering their lift bucket truck to help us with that. So we thank them as well. a great partner to have down there in the city of Wyoming. So thank you for Tim for that, just reaching out for them to get involved and helping us out there. That is all, that is all that I have for the report. Vice Mayor, I do need an approval for my mayor's court monthly statement.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the mayor's court monthly statement of $49,596.87.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
Okay. The motion has been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Aye, very well. All right. Yes, I can. Okay. We're going to do some first reading tonight because I do need I need 5 members of council to pass any legislation. So we'll do a first reading on this legislation tonight.
So the first item is ordinance 23, 2025, an ordinance amending appropriations for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025. This is a first reading. The next item is ordinance number 24, 2025, an ordinance revising the fee schedule for zoning and planning permits, inspections, and services, and this is a first reading.
All right, very well. My plan would be to, for the sake of finance especially, not wanting to hold up Lonnie and his process, we do have a committee of the whole schedule, and so I'm going to ask that we do a special council meeting prior to that meeting where we can pass this legislation prior to that meeting, and then we'll go right into committee of the whole. We'll take care of it at that point, okay? All right. All right. Is there any new business that comes before this council? All right, if there is no new business, again, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Share some time with families and friends. Enjoy. Don't eat too much. And if you do, we'll see you out there on that walking trail. But again, just be careful and be thankful for all of what we have in life right now. So with that being said, I need a motion for adjournment tonight.
I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Very well. Great meeting. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you so much.